What is going on, YouTube? This is XpoZe, and I got a topic today that I want to touch base on. It kind of goes with how to become a pro gamer and how to be successful in Black Ops 2 and all that stuff. But before I get into that topic, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this gameplay. I was so frustrated, man. I tried so hard to get so many different gameplays, so little deaths, so many kills, and it's just impossible for me to get when I'm struggling. But in this one, I end up getting Swarm, I end up getting Dogs, and I get like 4 VSATs or something. I don't know. But just enjoy the gameplay, and this topic should help a lot of you competitive players out. Now, I always get questions in my stream, and sometimes even in my comments. How do I get a sponsor? How do I even go about getting a sponsor? Not me, of course, because I know how to do that, but how would you guys go about getting a sponsor? And in this video, I'm going to tell you a little bit how to do that. Alright, number one, you have to make somewhat of a name for yourself. I wouldn't say have to, but it would really, it's like, if you ever fill out a registration form, you know the ones that have stars that you're required to do, and then you get the ones that are optional, and usually those are like a phone number or something. Getting your name out there, that would be like a optional one. It's definitely preferred and recommended for you to do that, because when you go to a organization that has members in it that may know you, or the organization may know or have heard of you, it's going to be a lot easier for them to be like, you know what, this guy's a good guy, he's a really good competitor, and he's really professional on Twitter and in his YouTube videos, as well as anything else, interviews. We should pick this guy up. So when you have a name for yourself, it's easier for people to do that for you. But if you don't have a name for yourself, it's kind of like they're going with a gamble. They have to go up based off references that you may have, or go off of people that may know you. And when people are referencing you, or when someone's, if say like for instance, a website like we'll say Esports Nation, say they were to be like, you know what, this XpoZe kid, I don't know much about him. Does anybody know about him? And he's in a party online. Obviously, he's going to go based off of what he's heard from these people. And if there's that one person in that party that may not like you, you're kind of screwed on that. So that's the reason why I'm saying make a name for yourself in a good way, because then they won't have to necessarily go off of other people's opinions. They know what they know of you because they've seen you around, you've made a name for yourself, and there's that. Now, how to find out if, not what if or who if, basically try to find the right organization or sponsor for you. There's a lot of sponsors out there, and there's a lot of fake sponsors out there. There's a lot of people that are just out there to get their name out there and kind of get the Twitter followers, but they really don't do anything for you. They'll say that they'll buy you everything that you need, plane tickets, hotel, entrance fees to tournaments, team passes, controllers, headsets, gear, streaming equipment. But in reality, they're not really there to do that. So you got to make sure that the people that you're applying for are credible. Another thing you have to think about is when you go to a website or you go to a sponsorship and you want to go with them, make sure you think about what other teams they might sponsor. Make sure that if there's another team that they sponsor that you don't get along with, or that you guys have had troubles with in the past, you got to think about it. That if their team already is sponsored by them, it might be harder for you to get in, because if they mention, so say like SteelSeries for instance, Team Fear. My team is about to get sponsored by SteelSeries. The only thing that we have to do in order to get sponsored is get the okay from Fear. But us and Fear don't get along because we've had scrims and they just haven't worked out well. So now my whole thing, even though I've played well and I've competed, is based off of Fear's opinion. So in reality to that, you gotta be aware of the surroundings. Be aware of what teams are affiliated with that sponsorship. Not just because of that reason, but also because they might only be looking for one team. It doesn't hurt to always send an email, but then again, you don't know what team or how many teams they're gonna want to stay with or go with. So make sure you be aware of that. Also, make sure that in the opening email. So say for instance you want to get on one of these teams as far as a sponsorship, or one of these organizations for a sponsorship. Make sure that in the opening email or in the opening meetings that you have with these people that you aren't automatically asking for things. The number one thing I see when people are getting sponsorships or trying to obtain sponsorship are like they'll get the sponsorship, right? So say I send this long email, and this is, before I get into this, I'll tell you what you should send in the email. You should send what your name is, your real name and your alias, aka gamer tag, what your accomplishments have been. That's a big one. Also, what you can do for the organization, and as far as promotion, being professional and all that stuff, and what your plans are for when you get on their organization or part of their organization, as far as placings, getting the right team together, and having that team stick and just doing well in tournaments. So make sure you do that. But back to what I was saying before. You don't want to go right into a meeting. So say I send in this email, and it's with SteelSeries again. And SteelSeries is like, you know what? We really like your email. We're pretty sure we want to go in your direction and actually pick you guys up. But let's have a meeting on Skype real quick. So we get into the Skype call. We're talking, and it's fine to be like, okay, now what do you guys plan on doing for, like, what do you guys need from us? That's always the number one thing you want to say to someone when you're talking to an organization is not what are we going to get, it's what do you want from us, so that you know you can keep your end of the bargain up. Because you got to think about it this way. Sponsors might talk just because there's competitors, and even some of them are affiliates with each other. Like Scuff Gaming is an affiliate with Major League Gaming, or I'm not saying that's actually happened, but I'm saying, for instance, that could be a situation. So if you don't hold up your end of the deal, you're going to screw yourself for a possible sponsorship from another organization down the road. So make sure you get that. But always ask what they want from you at first. And the reason why I say this is because when you do that, that makes you think, also makes them think that you're not just in it to get free shit. So if you do that, you can find out what you need to do to keep your end of the deal up, but you can also show them that you're not just in it for the free shit and the financial help. That's number one. Number two, once you guys start talking and eventually they tell you what they plan on doing for you, whether it's financial, whether it's promotion for your YouTube, whatever it may be, don't instantly ask for something. So like I said, we're talking with SteelSeries, right? We're in this Skype call. So the moment they're like, you know what, we plan on giving you some merchandise, we plan on giving you a free hotel. We can't necessarily do the plane tickets right away, but we can give you a free hotel, and we will be able to give you merchandise. The very first thing after he's done with that, I don't want to even say any of this in the first Skype call. I don't want to be like, you know what? All right, well, since you said free merchandise, can I get a headset? And could you ship it out maybe for this weekend sometime? You don't want to say that, because then it really looks bad on you. It really looks bad on you, because then it looks like, obviously, when you get part of an organization, you are in it for the stuff as far as promotion, financial, merchandise. Obviously, that's one of the main reasons you're looking for an organization. But at the same time, you also got to think of an organization as a partnership. Like, if you and your buddy were to go into business together, you want to make sure that you aren't just getting used by your buddy and you're not just using your buddy. You got to make sure that you guys are using each other as one, like you guys are a team, and you're doing the best to promote each other and make that brand as big as possible. When you're saying that stuff like, hey, can I have a free headset, blah, 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 right now, it makes it seem like you're just using them, and it's kind of, rather than you guys being a team, it's you guys going one-on-one against each other, like, well, I'm not going to give you this headset because I don't know if you're giving us the opportunities and everything that we were looking for originally. And that's how you get dropped from sponsorships to begin with. So make sure you be professional. Make sure in the emails you're saying everything that you need to say. Don't ask for shit right away. And honestly, make sure you're just respectful to everybody as far as people in the organization and outside the organization. There you go, guys. That's cutting this short. I hope you guys like this. I hope this does help you in the future going for some sponsorships. If you have any questions, post in the links below. Please toss this video a like. Follow me on Twitter. Sub to my YouTube. Share this video. Peace.